What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am. And if you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. Your dad will be bought by a bratty girl. Yeah, that's right, guys. Those spoiled kids sure are crazy. And if you don't press the like button, a spoiled kid will actually buy your dad. Yes, it's very sad. Anyways, guys, as you can tell from the title and thumbnail, today we're going to be talking about a spoiled girl. This is actually a subscriber story. It got sent to me on Instagram at Scrubby by a subscriber. Big thank you to the sub. They know who they are. They asked me to keep them anonymous because they don't want the person to find out about that they told me. So I'm gonna do them a solid. But yeah, if you guys have any super crazy stories you think would do well on the channel, feel free to send them to me on Instagram at Scrubby. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into spoiled people apparently threatening to buy your dad. So I go to a school that's a little bit of a private school, right? Meaning that there's a bunch of kids that think that, you know, their dad is actually a multi-billionaire owning Amazon, like just being a James Bond villain constantly, you know? There's a lot of people in my school that are kind of bougie because that's just what comes with the territory in a private school. And for the most part, most of them are pretty chill and understanding. But there's this one group of girls that is just the most unbearable group ever. They're the type of girl that constantly reminds you that, like, their outfit costs $700. They're the group of girls that it's constantly reminding you that their dad is like a surgeon and is way better than you. The girls that are constantly reminding you that, you know, poor people just kind of like need to work harder. Just obviously just not very nice with the fact that their parents have a lot of money, and it's their parents having a lot of money. One thing that really bugs me about rich kids flexing is that, like, it's not even your money. I can almost respect when a rapper is flexing or like when an NFL player flexes because it's like, hey, you work really hard. Like you made all that money. Congratulations, man. You did it. Congrats. When a rapper flexes a Lambo because his last album went multi-platinum, I'm like, wow, your album went multi-platinum. But when a kid starts being like, my dad makes a lot of money, that's cool, Timothy. You're not really your dad, though. And regardless, there was this one group of girls in particular that was super popular at the school, and they were the worst about flexing on other students. Like, it was almost as if they thought the only thing that counts in a personality is how much money your parents make, all right? Like, there's nothing else that they do that's actually good, so they were like, oh, my dad's just got a lot of money. And because it was a private school, most teachers would kind of cave into the kids. They'd be like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'll take away your homework because I don't want your dad to come in here and yell at me and get me fired from the private school, you know? Like, most teachers would honestly be super, super nice to the kid, even if they were being a jerk and just being mean about money. Like, it would just get weird a lot of the times with teachers. But there was one teacher that just didn't put up with much kids crap, all right? It was a science teacher, because for some reason science teachers are the most logical, and they kind of realized that if you let a bunch of teenage kids bully you into feeling like you're poor, you're probably going to continue to get bullied, you know? No one's ever been bullied by a bunch of kids and then been like, I'm going to cave in and not been, had more things go down. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a rule for life. If somebody's being a jerk, you don't let them be a jerk. You got to stand up to them, bro, because once you stand up to them, I'm telling you, they're going to fold real quick. But regardless, one day they're sitting in science class, and one of the most popular girls, who was all constantly bragging about how rich her dad was, you know, starts randomly talking in class about how her dad booked the wrong Airbnb for their trip to Hawaii, and how she was gonna have to stay in this like 4-star Airbnb instead of a 5-star, and how that was really stressing her out and was probably gonna ruin her weekend. As if it's just normal to take a weekend trip to Hawaii, bro. Like, oh, it's Friday, going to Hawaii. Hate having to fly commercial. Wish we had the private jet. Like, and this is in science class, mind you. This isn't at lunch where she's like talking to her friends and not. Like, she interrupted the class to tell everyone that her dad is stupid because he only got them a 4-star Airbnb for their weekend trip to Hawaii, as if that's just something everybody does. Like, ugh, I hate when my dad ruins our Airbnb reservations for our trip to Hawaii. Is that even a real thing? Like, you can be mad about going to Hawaii? Is that possible? Bro, this girl's ruining the whole luau, man. I don't want her to get a lay at all. If she pulls up to the luau, I'm leaving, dude, because what's she gonna do? Complain that there's not 3 pigs for her to eat? And the teacher goes, nobody cares. Like, he says nobody cares, which is the best response possible. You know, most teachers in this school were used to like, oh, that is so sad. I'm so sorry that your father booked the wrong hotel, but can you please not interrupt my class? And this guy was like, yeah, nobody cares. Like, literally nobody cares that your dad booked the wrong Airbnb in Hawaii. Everybody here wishes that they could go to Hawaii. So maybe next time you should just shut up. Like, don't talk. Like, he basically calls her out for just being the worst, which is pretty fair, you know? Like, hey, if you want to interrupt my class, I'm gonna flame you, because that's just how it be. If I was a teacher and some kids started interrupting my class, I might flame them, because that's just what you gotta do. But obviously, the type of girl that's complaining about only staying in a 4-star resort in Hawaii has never been told no in her life. Like, it's pretty obvious that she does not hear the word no a lot. So she looks at the teacher and says, "Excuse me?" Like, yeah, you should be saying excuse me, bruh, because you interrupted the class for no reason. Literally no good reason, man. And she starts telling the teacher, "How dare you speak to me like that? Do you have any idea who my father is? He is a very important man in this town, and he owns so many businesses here, and the fact that you would speak to his daughter like that shows that you don't really have any respect for this town." Which, I mean, let's keep it a buck fifty with you, bro. He's a teacher. He really does not care at all how many businesses your dad owns. Like, that doesn't really affect him at the end of the day. If your dad owns every construction company in the city, it doesn't matter to the school teacher, bro. He's not buying 900 pounds of concrete a week. And so the teacher says, "I don't care," which is a fair answer. I don't care how important your dad is. Please stop interrupting my class. He basically says, "Okay, that's cool. I'm glad your dad owns a lot of companies. That doesn't mean that you can interrupt my science class. It's an inappropriate time to talk about your trip to Hawaii. Like, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your trip to Hawaii is going to be like because you're interrupting my class. Can you just wait?" And the girl is basically like, "You don't get to tell me what I can and can't talk about." And the teacher is like, "No, actually, that's exactly what my job is to tell you what you can and can't talk about because it's my classroom. And I'm supposed to be teaching you science, so please stop interrupting the class." And at this point, the girl has been, like, had her ego bruised, so now she's trying to win the fight just to prove that, like, the teacher can't talk back to her that way because she's embarrassed that she got called out. So she stands up and screams, "You need to apologize to me right now or I will call my father down to the school to yell at you," which is a really weird threat to give an adult. Like, if you don't apologize to me for me being a jerk, then I'm gonna call my dad to come yell at you. It's just a really weird punishment. Like, imagine when someone was being mean to you in school, you were like, "Yeah, well, I'll have my mom come yell at you." Like, all right, Jeremy, I'm not really picking up what you're putting down. Like, I'm really not understanding the punishment here. Your parents are gonna yell at me, and somehow that's supposed to scare me into being nice to you, huh? Does any of this make any sense at all? So the teacher, with the threat of apparently getting yelled at by a dad that's not his own, doesn't respond, and he's just kind of like, "Okay, well then you're leaving my classroom. You're more than welcome to go to the principal's office and explain to them what's going on here." And the girl loses it. She gets up and goes, "My dad could buy you. You're worthless. You're just a dumb teacher. I don't know who you think you are to talk to me like this, but my dad could buy you. He's so wealthy that the fact that you would even dare disrespect me shows that you have obviously no regard for this school or its inhabitants." Like, just being an absolute jerk, right? Starts bragging about how, you know, my dad could buy you. And obviously the entire class at this point is getting dramatically uncomfortable, okay? Because it's one thing when somebody's fighting with a teacher, but the second that a student starts telling a teacher that they're worthless and that their worth could be bought by their father, you know, things get a little bit more awkward. It's not every day that you're seeing, you know, a 17-year-old girl screaming at a grown man, "My dad could buy you." And she just keeps repeatedly screaming, "I'm gonna buy you. My dad could buy you. You're fired. There's no way this school is gonna let you stay." And the teacher, cool as a cucumber, looks at her and goes, "Honestly, if I was bought by your father, I think I'd end it all because that would still be more bearable than having to listen to your screeching all day." And the entire class is just like, "Oh my God, no, you just got roasted." And the girl is just beat red embarrassed. And she's like, "Whatever, I'm done with this class." And grabs her stuff and walks out of the class, right? So she leaves the class and the rest of the class is kind of silent. And the teacher goes, "Well, that was entertaining. Let's get back to the lesson," and goes back to teaching the lesson, right? So that day, everything is fine, no big deal. But I guess the girl did tell her dad because a couple days later, this story comes out of the office. Somebody in the office had snitched on it. Apparently, the dad had come in, called the teacher into his office, and profusely apologized for his daughter's behavior. Because when she had told him what happened, he wanted the whole story, asked a couple of her friends, and found out that she was threatening the teacher by saying, "My dad's gonna buy you." And the dad was like, "My daughter was not supposed to be raised like that. I'm so sorry for her foul behavior. That's disgusting." Like, it was super apologetic to the teacher, bruh. So the girl ended up getting in more trouble, which is pretty fair. Like, I feel like it's good on the dad to finally, you know, tell his daughter, like, it's not cool to flex the fact that I have money on everybody else, and no, I'm not gonna buy your teacher because you interrupted the class. Like, sorry, Janice, all right? I guess you'll have to chillax with the rich spoiledness for a little bit. Nothing I can do about it. And the girl was absolutely embarrassed, which she should be, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Teachers already deal with so much crap all day. The last thing they need to do is get threatened by a spoiled girl that's like, "My dad's rich. I'll buy you." But on that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the video. And as always, comment the word banana down below. Today's notification shout out goes to Broke Girl Caitlin. Big shout out to you for having on notifications. I greatly appreciate it. If you want a notification shout out, you just have to follow me on Instagram and DM me a screenshot of your notifications on it. On that note, don't get anyone pregnant if you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm out. Peace.